Hello everyone, hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to part 2 of this Husqvarna. It's a 22-inch Husqvarna all-wheel drive lawnmower. And on part 1, I took 2 lawnmowers here that my friend Richie gave me. And we have the one over here with the rotted out deck, which had the good engine on it, the Honda. Because we're going to repower that one that you just saw with the Honda engine. So if you want to watch part 1, it would be good to watch part 1 because I did run into some trouble taking the Honda engine off here. And I was able to, I'll show you how I fixed it, what I had to do. And also, I took and I cleaned the deck real good once I had the engine off this one that we're using. And I just coated it with WD-40 real quick. And I cleaned off, well, I degreased the engine. But, you know, it's not a painted engine, but I wasn't happy about the way it looks. I spot painted it with some black paint. I painted all the way around the back here, the side, and this other side here. I mean, I didn't go crazy with the valve cover or anything. That seems to look pretty good and everything like that. And this is an all-wheel drive unit, and I'm going to get set up. And the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to route the belt. Okay, so what I did was I set the engine on here, and 2 of the engine mounting bolts require a bracket for the pulleys for the all-wheel drive. But this bolt here that I had the problem with on this one, that actually I tried to get it out but couldn't get it out, and then it finally broke off. But I was able to get the broken piece out. But this bolt here requires no bracket. So what I did was I put that bolt in first. And I just snugged it up so we can move the engine around a little bit. And so I'll get set up and we'll continue to put the mounting bolts in with the brackets and pulleys for the drive belt. Okay, so I never did one of these before. So as I was telling you, I snapped a picture even, and what I did was I just real quick I wrote down the pulley assembly. Like I said, the brackets, the engine mount brackets hold the let me get this up here. The engine mount brackets are held by the engine mount bolts. No, the brackets are held by the engine mount bolts. And what I did was I just drew a quick diagram of where the pulleys went and how the belt route is, and that's the easiest way I figure to do it. And like I said, I never did one before. I'm going to leave a link to part 1 in the comment section. It would be good to watch that one first. This way you can see, like I said before, the problems that I went through to get this engine off the Husqvarna with the bad deck. So alright, so far what I did was I mounted one bracket. It's like the main bracket that has the 3 pulleys that come down. One comes down here, one comes down there, one comes down there. And the way I could tell how the bracket went was I looked at my diagram that I made. And so what I'll do is I'll put the 3rd bolt in, and that has a bracket as well. And that'll be the 3rd mounting bolt. And then once I get these out, we can tighten up all the engine mount bolts. So, okay, where that 3rd one goes over here. This has like a curve to it, so you can more or less just put this thing on and just go by how the curve is. I'm not going to use any air tools to tighten these up. I'm just going to tighten them up by hand. The engine is a little loose, so I can move it around and get the bolts started. So I'll go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to see where I put the ratchet. Oh, it's right here with the socket on it. I'll use an extension for this. And I'll tighten up all 3 mounting bolts, and then we're done with that. We don't run into any problems like putting it together. I shouldn't even say it. Knock on wood, it's pretty easy. There's even underneath here. You can lock the bracket into where it goes. And then there's even a mark under the deck where the one part goes up into the deck here. So that's in there pretty good right there. I can go ahead and tighten this one up all the way. Okay, so that's pretty cool. Little awkward, but we got it. Trying to stay out of your way so you can watch too in the meantime. So I'll just hold this bracket here and try to ratchet this on. Okay, so we can tighten that up. As I said in part one, the belt configuration and the brackets are identical on the rotted out Husqvarna mower. So you can more or less use I use the parts off this mower here. It's not rotted out because the pulleys came off a lot easier and everything. And now we have our third bolt. This was the bolt that I had the problem with that broke off. So tighten that up good. Tighten that up good. That's tight. And that's tight. Okay, so we have the one belt goes around the crank pulley here. That I already know. And then we have these belts here that I believe go around the pulley this way, the one. So I think we can go ahead and put that on, and I'll look at my diagram real quick to see. Okay, yes. I found the best socket to use for these pulley bolts was an 11mm. Either my 7/16 socket was pretty worn out, but how did I say that one again? I forgot it right. Let me get my diagram. I'm just worried about the wind blowing my diagram away. Let's see. Yeah, definitely this way. This goes on like this. Yeah, there goes the diagram. Even with the diagram, I'm having a problem here. Okay, so that went like that. This goes something doesn't seem to be cool here. Let's put this one on first, maybe. You believe this? I'm all confused with this stupid thing now. Oh, wait a minute. I think the pulley's hard in that front. Yeah, you want the pulley without the groove to go on this top one here, because you're going on the outside of the belt here, it looks like. So let me try to get this started in here. Yeah, be careful of that. This is like, these pulleys here are like B-shaped, from what I could tell. And this pulley will go, this will go right here like this, like so, in here. No. Oh, I forgot, there's a belt guide in there, so you gotta get the belt situated on the pulley first before you mount it on the... It is a little tedious pain, but... You know what we're doing? Position all the pulleys, and then I'm going to shut the camera off and tighten them all up. So we just get everything into position first. Okay, so there's a belt guide here, so you want to stick the belt on the pulley before you bolt the pulley on. And now we have this pulley here. Get your belt on there. This belt goes over here like this. Ah, I missed the guide. Okay. So you gotta make sure you get in between the guide before you bolt the pulley in. And you don't want to cross thread these. Okay, so I'll get the third pulley on, which is the same story here. You want to get it on the belt, up through the guide, and put it in the bolt hole, and make sure you're on your crankshaft. Pain in the ass, huh? I don't think I'm nowhere near the bolt hole right now. It's all the way up here, the bolt hole. And I came off the pulley, I got the crank pulley. Something's not right here and I don't know what. Yeah, it is a pain in the neck. Okay, you're gonna have to fight with this a little bit. I'm gonna shut the camera off and I'll come back to you. There's no sense in you watching me fight with this, but you are gonna have to fight with it a little bit. I'll show you what the big fight was about. Remember, I put this upper pulley on first, then I put this left pulley on, and then I went ahead and tried to put this one on, and I was having a hard time. So what you want to do is you want to put this pulley on, the one right across from it on, and then this third pulley up here, you'll put that on last. Because I was fighting with this, trying to get the pulley on with this pulley on over here. Just a helpful hint that I didn't know myself. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and put that third pulley on camera. Yeah, as soon as I took that one pulley off, I was able to get this other one on right away. Let's see if it makes a liar out of me or not. This one should be pretty easy to put on, I would say. You know, this belt seems awfully tight. I'm pretty sure the belts are identical from one engine to the other here. But I don't know. That really seems tight. So before you go crazy here, you want to make sure you have everything running around your pulleys as they should be. I don't think the belt came off either one of these pulleys because they got guides on them too. And the front transmission, I would have to take the top cover off to see what's going on. I'm just going to tighten it up like this for now and see where we stand. There's not really much left to go. Oh, by the way, I dumped the oil out before I degreased the engine. And what you want to do is either put a post-it, just write it on the post-it that it has no oil. Or what I like to do is I took the dipstick out and I left the dipstick out so I know it has no oil in it. Because the last thing you want to do is go through all this trouble and forget to put the oil in it and fire it up and blow the engine. Okay, what I'm doing is I'm tightening up these bolts here for the pulleys. And then I'm going to put the belt, maybe I won't, I don't know what I'm doing next. Like I said, I think this belt is too tight in my eyes. Yeah, no, it feels good. I wonder if the transmission was sticking in here. When you pull the cable, what it does is the rear transmission has a spring on it. Yeah, that might have been a little stuck. Okay, this all seems to be okay right now. I'm going to take my chances and put the bottom cover on. And it needs a brand new blade. I'm going to be putting a brand new blade on it. And it's best to sell these machines fully serviced, you know, because it's got a mulching blade, and I noticed some of the fins, it's just shot. But we're going to put the old blade on it just to try it. I'm hoping Home Depot looks like they have the blade, but I have to make sure. I have to just take a ride down there to say, because sometimes they tell you it's in stock and then you get down there and it's not. So, okay, I'll be right back to you. Okay, so I cleaned the deck and I cleaned the engine and everything. I cleaned up the belt cover. And this belt cover has one, I used a 1/2-inch socket for the bolt on the bottom here. And then if you go around on top here, it has two 5/16 sockets I used. It has 2 bolts up here. I put them on, tightened them up. I put the old blade on for now just so we could try it. But I have to get a brand new blade like I mentioned before. And the only thing I have left to do is I have to hook up the starter rope to the handle. Have to hook up the shut-off cable to the engine. And I'm going to add the oil to it. Okay, so before you hook up the starter rope, and I'll show you why, you're going to want to hook up your shut-off cable. And let's see how I want to route this a little bit differently. So this is going to work good. So you want to take your Z-bend here and come up through the linkage here. and then there's a slot where you're going to stick the cable through, and then you're going to just stick this back in, and yeah, that's nice. That works good. I think the might have to adjust the cable on the power drive because it's sticking. The cable could be sticking, I'm not sure. Might have to make an adjustment on that. Alright, let me just hook up the rope, the starter rope to the handle here. And I'll see if I can make some adjustments on it. I thought the belt seemed to be a little tight, but I'm not, I have to say what's going on with that. Okay, so now that I hooked up the shut-off cable, now you can pull this back like this and pull your rope out here, and then we're going to hook this in here. This is a 7/16 socket that you're going to need for this, and we'll tighten that up. And then I'm going to try to make an adjustment. I did have to adjust this cable before I put the before we tried it out, where I had the Briggs & Stratton engine on, but it doesn't seem to be working too smoothly. And that's the cable, the power drive cable, the self-propelled cable. I had trouble with that when I first got it. I was telling you in part one it was seized. And I kept on spraying it to get it working again. But we want to make sure that's working properly because we don't want to start the mower up and have it take off on us. Alright, so that's done. I'm going to put the oil in it right now, and then we'll worry about adjusting the self-propelled cable. Okay, so here's the problem with the power drive. In part one, you saw that the star here disintegrated. So I found this pulley here to use. So after I put it back together, the problem is that the pulley that I tried to use fit the crankshaft fine, but look at the size of the pulley difference, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one back on with the busted up star, and I'm just going to get it back together to see if it works. I saw that Tractor Supply had these for like $10, but now I got to make sure it fits the Honda engine and not the Briggs engine because they're different, you know, because I tried to take the one that came off the Briggs, and it just doesn't fit the crankshaft. It just goes so far, and then it gets tapered in here, and the crankshaft on the Briggs is smaller than the one on the Honda. So this fits the Briggs, but it won't fit the Honda. So let me get it back together again. I already put the oil in it, and I'll see if I can pick up another Blade Boss pulley assembly here. Okay, so it's unfortunate, you know, that the Blade Boss adapter there has that problem, but I put the old one back on it. I just centered the blade on there the best I could, so it might vibrate, but we're going to try to do a start on this, and then we'll go out in the field and see how it cuts. I mean, it needs a new blade, it's going to need the new Boss. The air filter is very good in it. He probably changed it not that long ago before he stopped using it, when it was on the one with the hole, you know, the mower that's rotted out. But I am going to change the spark plug. I'm going to see if Tractor Supply has the Boss for it, and in the meantime I'll see if I can get it running now. I put oil in it. I put 1030 in it. It's got enough gas in it. It still has that whole gas in it, but it seemed to run okay with that. And let's see if it starts. And I know it's going to vibrate because I could only center the blade, like I said, you know, the best I could. Spark plug wires, but oh no, I put it back on. Isn't that a surprise? But turning the gas on is always a good idea too. So the gas is on. The automatic choke is on. Let's see if we can get it running. Back off on the cable adjustment just a smidge, because as soon as I pull the lever, it wants to take off right away. So I'll see if I could make an adjustment on that, and I'll meet you guys out in the field. So far it's a pretty decent mower. I'll have to put, I don't know, 50-60 bucks into it, but I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna put the ad as 175 firm. I mean, it's worth it, because from what I saw, brand new ones are like $500 or $600 for all-wheel drives, and this has a Honda now on it instead of that newer Briggs and Stratton, which I don't. Once again, I don't care to comment on that. But all right, let's see how it does. Okay, so it's not doing bad. It's running pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and order the boss for it and the blade. See if I can get it, like I said, over at the Tractor Supply. And it came out pretty good. But I suggest you watch part 1 of this, which like I said in the beginning, I'll leave the link to that. And you can see what I went through though with this thing in the beginning. But okay, so thanks for watching this series, and I'll see all of you on the next one.